this is what you've been called: provocateur, pedophilia apologist, white supremacist, classic troll, a walking contradiction. What do you say to all those?
Well, I have a black husband. If I'm a white supremacist, I'm not a very good one.
Do you think people are confused by your message, perhaps sometimes?
No, and anyone who actually reads me or actually sees my show or actually pays attention isn't left confused in the slightest. I think people are confused, if they are at all, because they see me and they see the coverage of me, and the two things don't really gel. When they see me, they see somebody who's like,
This is what you talk about, identity politics, right?
Well, they see me and they're kind of like, okay, so he's quirky and a bit annoying, but quite interesting and funny, and he was right about that. And the press is all, this is a sexist, racist, misogynist, white supremacist. Clearly not true. Like, clearly.
But can you understand why people are like, wait, that's so weird that he says don't vote for gay marriage?
Because I think there are oversimplistic, silly, partisan line stuff. It's going on both sides. I'm a thinker. I'm an iconoclast. Like, I have complicated positions on things. Sometimes I don't know what I think. Sometimes I have positions with caveats. Sometimes I have I agree a bit.
So do you think you're perhaps a little misunderstood?
Of course, but it's on purpose. I'll do provocations. I'm a polemicist, so I'll push out what I always thought gay people were supposed to do, which was like push the limits, be provocative, be interesting. I see myself in that sort of drag queen tradition of of existing on the fringes of what's allowed. Pushing at taboos and all the rest of it.
If you were invited back onto a show with Waleed Ali or Jessica Rowe or Carl Stefanovic, how do you think that would pan out?
I think I'd just mock them for 15 minutes about being cowed. No, I'm kidding. I wouldn't do that. What I really want from them is a serious debate, a substantive debate on the issues. I want to talk to Jessica Rowe about why she thinks there's rape culture on campus when there isn't, why she thinks there's a wage gap when there isn't.
But then you were quite nasty towards her just earlier. You talked about her hair and all that sort of stuff.
Who cares? We're in the business of journalism. How are these people going to survive in war zones if they can't take a bit of teasing from me?
But is that what we should be doing as journalists, or should we just having
This isn't a nice job. This isn't a nice job. Most journalists are our job as journalists is to mess with people and destroy their lives because we think that they are bad guys, right? There is no such thing as impartial journalism. It's a mirage, and it is a nasty, sociopathic, horrible profession to be in because we are in the business of destroying reputations. That's what journalism at its best does. Okay. Now, ideally, journalists destroy the reputations of bad people. Right? Ideally, they uncover corruption. They shine a light on hypocrisy. Ideally, journalists reveal wrongdoing through their reporting, but they're still in the business of destroying reputations. Yeah. We should be tough. If you're a journalist, you might want, if you're an anchor. I mean, this guy Stefanovic or whatever. He's a $3 million a year anchor, right? He could be thrown into a war zone. They could put him on a plane to Rwanda, right? And he could exactly. And he doesn't want to. And he has mysteriously cancels last minute an interview with me. Why? Because he doesn't want to be embarrassed. Because actually, it turns out I'm not some dimwit, but I might actually have answers to his questions. I mean, and it's repeated over and over and over again. This picture is repeated throughout the networks, throughout the channels. They're all starting to get the message that actually this might not be an easy gotcha. We might not be able to make conservatives look stupid again today. Actually, I might give them a run for their money.
Have you watched the shows before?
I have.
Apart from being interviewed on Sunrise.
I don't really watch TV unless I'm on it, but I did watch.
Do you know much?
No, I did watch I watched the project. No, I watched the project through gritted teeth and again I was strapped to the chair. They wouldn't let me out of it, and I found him to be an intellectual lightweight, insubstantial. And I would like to see if I'm right about that and say, just have at it. I've said some really bad things about Muslims. He could throw some stuff at me that's very difficult to answer, right? Why not do it? If I'm such a clown and such a provocateur and a troll, shouldn't it be easy within a few minutes of live television to rip me to shreds?
Would you ever admit you were wrong, though, or would you ever
Of course, I've been wrong about things. My position on gay marriage has evolved because I fell in love. And I now have this deep, real love in my life, and I didn't realize that two men could feel that for each other. And I always kind of, I guess, maybe this is sad, but I always kind of figured that gay people were just, was sex things and found fulfillment elsewhere, whatever. I fell in love, and it changed my idea about whether the state should recognize same-sex unions. That's real. That's serious. That's a big deal for me. And my view on that subject evolved and changed, and I've said so very publicly. So yeah, of course I admit when I'm wrong. I'm just not wrong very often.